title says poor intern. But she was not poor. She was the owner. Let me explain. She had built something from nothing. From a middle-class house with a bank manager father and a mother who cooked dinner every evening, and a girl who grew up obsessed with money, not in a greedy way, in a fascinated way. The way some children are obsessed with space or animals or music, she was obsessed with banks, with how money moved, with why some people had more and some people had less, and what the structures were that determined which side of that line you ended up on. She turned that obsession into a finance degree, then into a job at her father's bank where she learned everything wrong with the system and started building a plan to fix it, then into a company, then into a bank, then into one of the most talked about private financial institutions in the country, a bank built specifically for the wealthiest people in the nation, where the minimum balance was $100 million and the returns made billionaires richer while they slept. She built all of that, and then she went on honeymoon. And while she was on honeymoon, exploring Europe with the man she had just married, planning their next destination, living the life she had worked a decade to earn, something was happening in her newest and most important branch. The management team. Specifically, the HR and management department. People were talking, not quietly. Word was getting back to her through people who knew clients. The way information travels in wealthy circles, which is fast and specific and impossible to ignore once it starts. The HR department of her flagship branch, the crown jewel of everything she had built, the branch that handled the accounts of some of the richest people in the country, was behaving badly, speaking to clients like they were inconveniences, treating junior staff like they were invisible, running her bank like it was their personal territory. She told her husband they needed to go home. He said, "Relax." She said, "I built this brick by brick, and I am not going to lose a single client or a single dollar because someone is being rude in my name." They booked a private jet. And then she made a decision that nobody who works in that bank had any way of predicting. She was not going to walk in as the owner. She was going to go in as an intern. No title, no corner office, no assistant announcing her arrival. Just a fake resume, a plain outfit, and the specific patience of a woman who has been watching and learning her entire life and knows exactly how to read a room from the inside. What happened in that building, what she saw, who she became friends with, the client who walked in and almost broke everything, the day she finally stood up in the middle of the floor and said what she had to say, that is this story. This is not a story about a poor intern. This is a story about what a builder looks like when she is not being watched. Stay here, because the ending of this one is going to stay with you. Before we start, hit the like button right now. One tap. If you believe that the people who run things should also be the people who understand what is actually happening inside them. Subscribe to Fair Folktales and ring the bell. Every week we are here with a story like this one. Comment below if you found out your company's owner was secretly working as an intern beside you. What would you do? Tell us. Now let us go all the way back to the beginning. To a small, decent house, a bank manager father, a little girl who could not stop asking questions about money. Her name was Amina Suleiman. She was born in Abuja on a Wednesday morning in April, the second child and only daughter of Mr. Bello Suleiman and Mrs. Fatima Suleiman. Mr. Bello Suleiman was a branch manager at First Continental Bank, one of the large commercial banks in Abuja. He had been in banking for 22 years. He had started as a teller at 24, worked his way up through roles that required him to be meticulous, patient, and consistently right about numbers, and had arrived at branch manager at 46 with the specific satisfaction of a man who knew his field completely. He was not a rich man. He was a comfortable man, and he knew the difference, having spent 22 years sitting across from both kinds. He had a salary that paid for a decent 4-bedroom house in Garki, a Toyota Camry that was 7 years old but maintained carefully, his children's school fees at a good private school, and holidays once a year to somewhere within Nigeria that the children would remember. He was proud of his life. He was more proud of his daughter. Amina had been asking questions about money since she was approximately 5 years old. Not about spending, about structure. She wanted to know what a bank was, why people gave their money to strangers, what happened to the money after it went in, where the interest came from, why some accounts paid more than others. Mr. Bello answered every question. He answered them the way he answered everything, completely, without condescension, with the specific respect for curiosity that comes from a man who had built his own knowledge one question at a time. By the time Amina was 8, she could explain to her older brother Yusuf, who was 12 and largely disinterested in anything that was not football, what a savings account was, what a fixed deposit was, and why the bank was not technically holding your money but was using it and paying you for the use. Yusuf told her to be quiet and went back to football. Amina took her notebook to the kitchen table and continued writing. She had been keeping a notebook since she was 7. Not a diary, she had no interest in recording feelings. A notebook full of questions and the answers she had found for them. It started with banking questions. It expanded. By the time she was 12, it included questions about the stock market, about foreign exchange, about why some currencies were worth more than others, and what determined the value of money in the first place. Her father gave her a copy of a book about the basics of investment when she was 11. She read it in 4 days and came back with 11 questions he could not fully answer. He took her to the bank one Saturday. Not officially, just to walk through it, to see the operations floor, to sit for 20 minutes in his office while he finished some paperwork. She sat in the chair across from his desk and looked around at the certificates on the wall, the monitor with the banking software, the framed photograph of their family on the corner of the desk, the view of the banking floor through the glass. She said, "Papa, this is not big enough." He looked up. "What do you mean?" he said. "Your bank," she said. "I mean, it is fine, but the system has problems. The returns are too low. The fees are too high. The technology is old. People should be getting more from their money than they are getting." He looked at his daughter, who was 11 years old. "What would you change?" he said. She told him. He listened carefully. He said when she finished, "You might be right about some of it." "About which parts?" she said. "Let me think about it," he said. He thought about it for a week. Then he came back to her with his responses. The parts she was right about, the parts that were more complicated than she had accounted for, the systemic reasons some of the problems existed, and why they were hard to fix within the existing structure. She took notes. She was 11 years old, and she was already conducting her first industry analysis. Secondary school was where Amina developed the specific reputation that follows some students through their entire academic lives. The one who already knows things. Not in an arrogant way, she was not arrogant about knowledge. She was hungry for it, which is different. She asked questions because she genuinely wanted answers, not because she wanted people to notice her asking. But the quality of her questions was such that teachers regularly found themselves consulting references after class to make sure they had answered her correctly. Her economics teacher, a tall woman named Mrs. Adamu who had been teaching for 30 years and had a particular respect for students who pushed her, once said to the class, "Amina has a way of asking questions that make the question more interesting than the answer." She meant it as a compliment. Amina received it as a direction. Keep asking better questions. She was good at all subjects. Excellent at mathematics, which was useful. Outstanding at economics, which was expected. But she was also, surprisingly, good at people. She noticed things. She noticed when a classmate was struggling before the classmate said anything. She noticed dynamics in groups, who was being talked over, who was carrying more than their share, who was performing confidence they did not have. This quality, the ability to read a room, to understand what was actually happening beneath the surface of what was presented, was going to serve her in ways she could not yet imagine. She finished secondary school with results that made her father sit at the kitchen table with the report card for 15 minutes, reading it several times. Her mother brought him tea. "Is it good?" her mother said. "It is the best results this school has had in 8 years," her father said. Her mother brought Amina jollof rice with extra chicken. This was the family's language of celebration. Amina ate it and was already thinking about university. She chose finance at the University of Abuja. Not the obvious choice, most students with her results went into medicine, law, or engineering. Finance was, in the minds of most people, a technical support subject rather than a destination. Amina did not think about it this way. Finance was the operating system of everything. Every hospital needed it. Every law firm ran on it. Every engineer's project was funded by it. She wanted to understand the operating system, not one of the applications that ran on top of it. She arrived at university and understood within the first month that she was in the right place. Not because the university was exceptional. It was good, not extraordinary. But because being in a room full of people who were seriously interested in the same subject she had been informally studying for 10 years was the specific kind of intellectual environment she had been waiting for. She found the library on the second day and established a routine that lasted 4 years. 2 hours in the library every morning before lectures, reviewing materials that were ahead of the curriculum. She was not trying to impress anyone. She just could not wait for the class to reach what she was thinking about. Her grades in the first year were the highest in her cohort. Her grades in subsequent years were the highest in the department. She also, during those years, began to develop the business idea that would become everything. It started during a summer internship at her father's bank between her first and second years. She had arranged it formally, applied through the HR department the same as any other intern, did not use her father's position except to get through the first gate, performed every task assigned to her with the same attention she gave to everything. What she was doing, beneath the performance of a diligent intern, was watching. She was watching the same things she had been watching since she was 11 years old in her father's office, now with 4 years more framework to understand what she was seeing. The bank had a fundamental problem. It was trying to serve everyone. Personal accounts, business accounts, small deposits, large deposits, ordinary customers who came in to pay bills, and wealthy customers who had millions managed by the same understaffed team. The bank was stretched across an enormous range of customer needs and serving all of them, as a result, imperfectly. She wrote this observation in her notebook. Then she wrote a question. What if you built a bank that served only one end of this range, the highest end? What would that look like? She spent the rest of that summer answering the question. By the time she returned for second year, she had the beginning of a business model. A private bank, not a general private bank. An ultra-premium institution, exclusive, invitation only, with a minimum balance that was itself a filter. A bank for the genuinely wealthy, where the entire service model was built around the specific needs of people with large amounts of capital to manage. The pitch was this: if you have $100 million sitting in a standard bank account, you are losing money. Standard banks cannot manage that level of capital effectively on your behalf. They do not have the investment expertise, the risk management infrastructure, or the specific relationships in global markets to generate the returns that capital is capable of producing. She could build a bank that did. By the time she finished university, she had a business plan. Not a student's business plan, a real one, with financial models, market analysis, regulatory requirements research, staffing models, technology infrastructure requirements. She had consulted professors who had given her feedback that was both critical and impressed. She had revised it 4 times. She had one problem. Starting a bank required capital that a young woman with no track record and no inherited wealth did not have. She needed a partner. If this is already the kind of story you want more of, hit subscribe. We have one of these every week. His name was Rashid Adwale. He was in the same finance department, 1 year above her. He was the son of Chief Emmanuel Adwale and Mrs. Kioma Adwale, a family whose name appeared on buildings in 3 Nigerian cities. Chief Adwale had inherited a property business from his own father and had expanded it into a diversified group with interests in real estate, hospitality, and a construction company. He was, by most measures, a billionaire. Rashid was everything the son of a billionaire could theoretically be. Educated at one of the best secondary schools in Lagos, well-traveled, fluent in 3 languages, comfortable in rooms where most people would be nervous. He was smart, genuinely smart, not just well-resourced, and had the specific social ease of someone who had grown up among confident people and had absorbed their manner without acquiring their arrogance. He was also, beneath all of this, slightly lost. This was not obvious to people who encountered him casually. He performed the role of the billionaire's son well: the nice clothes, the appropriate confidence, the easy conversation. But Amina, who had been reading rooms since she was 12 years old, noticed something in their first real conversation that most people did not see. He did not care about any of it. Not the money, not the family businesses, not the path that was clearly being laid for him: take over one of the family's divisions, manage it capably, grow it incrementally, continue the legacy. He was not angry about it. He was not resentful. He was simply indifferent, which was somehow more significant. The specific indifference of someone who has been given everything except the one thing that matters: a reason. They met at the department's annual economics symposium in his 3rd year, her 2nd year. She had submitted a paper for the student competition. He had come because attendance was expected, and he was the kind of person who did what was expected when it was socially easy. Her paper won. She came up to collect the award, gave a short speech that was 3 times more substantive than any other student's speech, and sat down. He looked across the room at her. After the symposium, during the informal gathering in the hallway, he found her standing near the window, reviewing someone else's paper with a focused, critical expression. "Your speech," he said, "about the gap in premium banking." She looked at him. "What about it?" she said. "You described a problem that actually exists," he said. "I know because my family's accountants have been complaining about exactly that problem for 3 years. The returns on our capital management are poor. We know they should be better. The banks we use are not structured to generate the returns at our level." She looked at him with the specific attention she gave to information that confirmed what she already believed. "I know," she said. "That is the whole point." "You have a solution," he said. "I have the beginning of one," she said. "Show me," he said. She looked at him for a moment. "I don't know you," she said. "My name is Rashid Whale," he said. She knew the name. Everyone in the department knew the name. "I know who you are," she said. "That is not what I mean. I mean I do not know if you are someone I should show this to." He looked at her. "Fair," he said. "How do you find out?" "Talk more," she said, "about things that are not about money." He blinked. Then he said, "Okay." They talked for 2 hours at the symposium and then continued walking across campus after it ended, neither of them mentioning that they were still walking together. They talked about what it felt like to be expected to inherit something you had not chosen. They talked about what it meant to build versus what it meant to maintain. They talked about what made work feel meaningful and what made it feel like performance. By the time they reached the point in the conversation where it had to be acknowledged that they had been talking for a long time, Amina had formed a view. He was not the story she had expected. He was not the careless son spending his family's money and looking for entertainment. He was a person with a real mind who had been given every resource except direction and who had been waiting, without fully knowing it, for something to be interested in. She was not going to show him the business plan yet, but she was going to continue the conversation. They became friends the way serious people become friends, through work. She showed him papers she was writing and asked for his feedback. He was good at it, precise, honest, willing to disagree with her when he had a reason. She respected this. She had limited patience for people who agreed with her to be agreeable. She showed him the business plan in her 3rd year. Not the finished version. The working version, the one with the questions still in the margins, the assumptions clearly labeled as assumptions, the projections that had ranges rather than single numbers. He read it at his desk in the library while she waited. He read it carefully. He read it twice. He put it down. "This is real," he said. "Yes," she said. "You could actually build this," he said. "Yes," she said. "How much capital do you need to start?" he said. She told him. He was quiet for a moment. "And you are asking me," he said. "I am not asking you anything yet," she said. "I am showing you something real and asking you what you think of it." He looked at her. "I think it is the best business plan I have ever read," he said. "And I have sat through 6 board meetings where my father's advisors presented business plans." She waited. "I want to invest," he said. "I know," she said, "but I need you to be sure it is because of the plan and not because of me." He thought about this seriously. "Both," he said. "Is that acceptable?" She looked at him. "If the both stays honest," she said. "It will," he said. She believed him. She was right too. The investment conversation with Rashid's father, Chief Emmanuel Adwale, happened 6 weeks after Amina graduated. She had prepared for it with the same obsessive thoroughness she applied to everything. She had the business plan finalized, every model stress-tested, every assumption justified, every regulatory requirement documented, every risk and its mitigation clearly stated. She had 3 independent financial analysts review the plan. 2 called it highly ambitious. 1 called it the most credible new private banking concept they had seen in 10 years. She walked into Chief Adwale's Abuja office in a navy blue suit she had saved for 3 months to buy. She sat across from him and his 2 senior advisors, and she presented for 45 minutes. Chief Adwale listened. He did not interrupt. When she finished, he looked at his advisors and then back at her. He asked 11 questions. She answered all 11 without consulting notes. He looked at Rashid, who was sitting to the side. Rashid looked at his father. "She knows more about this than she is telling us," Chief Adwale said, not as an accusation, as an observation. "Yes," Amina said. "There is more detail available if you want it." Chief Adwale smiled. It was the smile of a man who had built something from inherited foundations and respected people who intended to build something from nothing. "How much control do you retain?" he said. 51%, she said. "Always non-negotiable." "You are 23 years old," he said. "Yes," she said. "The plan is not." He looked at her for a long time. Then he said, "Rashid, get me the investment documents." Suleiman Private Bank opened its first branch in Abuja 4 years later. Not a large branch, a proper space, well-designed in the right neighborhood, with a team of 12 people she had personally interviewed and selected. The name was hers, Suleiman, her father's name, her name. She had considered other options and come back to this one every time. The first clients were people Chief Adwale introduced them to, members of his network who had the financial profile Amina had designed the bank for. People with significant capital who were frustrated with the returns they were getting from conventional management. She sat with every first client herself. She did not send an account manager. She sat with them, listened to their financial situation, explained what Suleiman Private Bank could do for them that the institution they were currently with could not, and answered every question with the specificity that came from someone who had been studying this since she was 11 years old. Word moved through the network. The way word moves among wealthy people when something is genuinely good, carefully, specifically, as a recommendation rather than an advertisement. The second branch opened in Lagos in year 2. The third in Port Harcourt in year 3. By year 4, Suleiman Private Bank had 3 branches, 240 high net worth clients, and a track record of investment returns that were, on average, 40% higher than the industry standard for the same risk profile. The fourth branch, the one in this story, was different from the others. She had been planning it for 2 years. The others were for the high net worth tier, clients with between 5 million and 100 million in managed assets. They were good clients, important clients, the foundation of the business. The fourth branch was for a different category entirely. Ultra high net worth, The minimum balance was $100 million. The client list would be limited to 300 accounts globally. Every client would have a dedicated senior banker. The investment strategies would be built for each client individually rather than from a template. This branch was the statement. This branch was what she had been building toward since she sat in her father's office at 11 years old and said this is not big enough. She found the location. She designed the interior. She hired the initial team, 60 people, the best she could find across the industry. The building opened on a Tuesday. She stood in the lobby on the opening day and looked at the space, the clean lines, the right light, the specific quiet elegance that communicated serious money without performing it, and felt the specific satisfaction of someone who has been building something in their head for a decade and is now standing inside it. Rashid stood beside her. He had been beside her through all of it, not as a silent partner, but as a genuine one. His role had evolved from investor to involved collaborator. He had not taken an official position in the bank. That was her territory, and she ran it. But his knowledge of property had been invaluable in finding the right locations for each branch. His family's network had opened doors in Lagos and Port Harcourt that would have taken years longer to open otherwise. And his specific quality of being someone who challenged her thinking without being invested in winning the argument had shaped many of the decisions she had made. He had also, somewhere in year 2 of building the bank, shifted from friend to something more. Not dramatically. These were not dramatic people. It had happened through proximity and work and the specific intimacy of 2 people building something together and arguing about it, and knowing each other's thinking better than most people know themselves. He had said one evening, after a meeting that had gone well and they were walking back to the office, "I think I have been in love with you since the library." She had said, "I know." He had stopped walking. "You knew," he said. "For about 8 months," she said. "And you said nothing," he said. "I was waiting for you to say something," she said. "I was not going to be the one who introduced a romantic complication into a business partnership." He looked at her. "That is both very practical and slightly maddening," he said. "Yes," she said, "those are both accurate." They were married in year 4 of the bank, 2 months after the flagship branch opened. The wedding was exactly what 2 people who were serious about substance over performance would organize. 200 guests. A proper celebration, full of real people who had been part of the journey. Her father sat in the front row with the expression of a man who has watched something he planted grow into something much bigger than the seed. Her mother cried from the beginning of the ceremony. Rashid's parents sat beside them. Chief Adwail, who had invested in a 23-year-old with a plan and had seen the plan become 4 branches of a bank his own advisors now recommended to their other clients, looked across the room at his son and his new daughter-in-law and said something to his wife that nobody else could hear. His wife nodded. They were happy. They went to Europe 3 weeks after the wedding. Rashid had planned it, not because Amina asked him to, but because he had been watching her build without stopping for 4 years, and he had decided that a deliberate, structured pause was going to happen whether she scheduled it herself or not. She had not scheduled it herself. He had booked 2 weeks, Paris first 3 days, then Amsterdam, then Florence, then London, then wherever they felt like after that. They were in Amsterdam on the 8th day when Amina's phone started. Not a single call. A series of messages, each one a degree more serious than the last, from 3 different people who had no connection to each other, but who were all saying versions of the same thing. The first was from her chief legal officer, a woman named Adjora who had been with the bank since the 2nd year, and who sent information with the precision and composure of a surgeon, never dramatic, always accurate. The message said, "I need you to call me when you are able. There are reports from the flagship branch that require your attention." The second was from a client. Not an ordinary client, one of the $100 million clients, a man who had been introduced through Chief Adwail's network and who had placed a significant portion of his assets under Suleiman Private Bank's management. His message said, "Amina, I heard something that concerned me. My friend tried to open an account at your new branch and the experience was very poor. You should know this. I trust your bank, but this is not good." The third was from a woman named Ngozi, who managed the flagship branch's client relations, one of the people Amina trusted most in that branch. Her message said, "There are things happening here that I think you should see directly. I am not comfortable putting the specifics in writing, but please come when you can." Amina read all 3 messages. Then she put the phone face down on the cafe table and looked out the canal window at the Amsterdam afternoon. Rashid watched her face. "What is it?" he said. She told him. He listened. He said, "Let us finish the trip. We have 6 more days. This can." "No," she said. He stopped. She looked at him. "Rashid," she said, "I built that branch specifically. Every person I hired for that branch, I hired personally. The design, the systems, the client experience, all of it was built to a specific standard. If something is wrong in there, it is wrong in the most important thing I have built. And I am not going to sit in Amsterdam while it continues." He looked at her. He knew this was right. He had known it before he offered the alternative. He had offered it because he wanted to give her the chance to rest and had known she would not take it. "Okay," he said. "But there is a problem," she said. He waited. "If I walk in there as the CEO and owner," she said, "everyone changes. The people who are doing the wrong things will perform correctly. The people being treated badly will not say anything because the owner is present. I will see a performance of the bank, not the bank." He thought about this. "So you go in differently," he said. "As an intern," she said. He stared at her. She was not joking. "Amina, think about it," she said. "I go in as a junior applicant, entry level. I get placed in the general operations floor. I see everything from the inside, the way a junior employee sees it. I see how the management team treats the staff. I see how the staff treats the clients. I see it the way it actually is, not the way it is performed for inspections." He thought about it. He could see the logic. He had never been able to argue with her logic even when he wanted to. "You," he said, "are the founder and CEO of a private bank. You have been in major newspapers. The regulatory authority knows your face. The flagship branch was opened 6 months ago," she said. "Most of the staff were hired after the opening. They know the brand. They know the bank's reputation. Many of them will not know my face." "Some will," he said. "Some is a risk I can manage," she said. "What about me?" he said. She looked at him. "You are coming with me," she said. He raised his eyebrows. "As an intern," he said. "As a junior operations support candidate," she said. "Your real estate knowledge means you can credibly be a property and asset management intern. Nobody in that building knows Rashid Adwail by face." He was quiet for a moment. "You have already planned this," he said. "In the last 20 minutes, she said. "You planned this in 20 minutes, he said. "I have been thinking about how to assess a branch from the inside for 2 years, she said. "This situation just gave me a reason to do it." He sat back. He looked at his wife across the Amsterdam cafe table. This woman he had watched build an empire from a business plan written in a university library, who had just received troubling news while on her honeymoon, and whose response was not panic, but a specific, structured intervention she had designed on the spot. "You are remarkable," he said, "and occasionally alarming." "Thank you," she said. "Can you get the bill? We need to book the flight." They were on a private jet to Nigeria that evening. Rashid spent the flight building a fake resume. He sent it to Amina for review. She corrected 2 things and approved it. She wrote her own. She had not used the name Amina Suleiman in her fake application. She had used a name close enough to remember but different enough to pass, Amina Badmus. A name she had invented that afternoon, with a university background that was real, the University of Abuja, finance degree, but a work history that was generic and invented. She also changed her number in the application, borrowing a second line that nobody in the bank had. The night before they were scheduled to present themselves at the branch, Amina sat with Rashid in the hotel room they had checked into in Abuja. Not their home. They were not going near their home until this was done and went through the plan. "You do not pull rank at any point," she said. "I know," he said. "Even if it becomes uncomfortable," she said. "I know," he said. "Even if someone is rude to you," she said. He looked at her. "Amina," he said, "I am going to be fine. I am more worried about you." "Why?" she said. "Because," he said, "if someone is rude to a client in front of you, you are going to have a very specific expression on your face that anyone who knows you will immediately understand." She was quiet for a moment. "I will work on the expression," she said. He smiled. "I know you will," he said. They went to sleep. In the morning, they dressed simply. Nothing branded. Nothing that communicated anything above junior employee. She wore a plain white blouse and dark trousers. He wore a basic button-down and dark slacks. They took a regular taxi to the bank. They walked through the entrance as strangers. This is getting good. Subscribe. We tell stories like this every single week. The branch was exactly what she had designed it to be from the outside. This was the first thing she noticed walking through the entrance, and it was important. The architecture was correct. The lobby was clean. The materials were right. The light was what she had specified. The reception staff were professional, calm, well-dressed, trained in the manner the brand required. She noticed all of this with the part of her that was always the founder. Then she focused. The HR orientation for new interns and junior staff was conducted in a meeting room on the second floor. 7 people were being processed that morning: 4 interns, 2 junior analysts, and 1 operations support intern who was Rashid. The person running the orientation was a man named Mr. Ekin. He was 43, had been with the bank for 5 months, was the head of HR for the flagship branch, and wore his authority in a way that Amina clocked immediately. Not the quiet authority of competence, the loud, assertive authority of someone who was using his position as a substitute for the influence he felt he deserved. He went through the orientation with the specific energy of someone who was doing a task they considered beneath them. He cut a junior analyst's question short mid-sentence. He looked at his phone twice during the first 15 minutes. He made a comment about the intern program that was technically a joke, but contained something dismissive that made 3 people in the room go slightly still. Amina wrote nothing down. She filed everything. She was placed in the investment management support department, which was exactly where she had hoped to be placed, close to the work she cared most about, close enough to the client interactions to observe them. Rashid was in the operations support division. Her direct supervisor was a young woman named Zainab, mid-20s, 2 years with the company, clearly good at her job and clearly under-recognized for it. She showed Amina to her workstation with a warmth that was genuine rather than performed. "Welcome," Zainab said. "This department is good, the work is interesting, the people are mostly nice." She paused. "Mostly." Amina looked at her. "Mostly," she said. Zainab smiled with the specific restraint of someone who has learned to be careful about what she says in a professional environment. "You will see," she said. "Just watch the patterns." Amina watched the patterns. The work itself was familiar to her in the way that reading a book in a genre you invented is familiar. She recognized every concept, could see ahead of every process, understood every document before she finished reading it. She performed the role of a junior employee learning the systems carefully, asking questions that were smart but not suspiciously expert, making notes that looked like learning rather than assessment. What she was assessing was everything. The investment management team was good. She saw this within the first 2 days. Competent, careful, genuinely engaged with the client's portfolios. Zainab was excellent. She had an instinct for risk that Amina recognized from her own thinking, and she communicated with clients in the precise language that serious investors needed. The client relations team was good. The technology support team was good. The security team was professional and well-briefed. And then there was the HR management department. Mr. Ekin ran a department of 8 people. In the ordinary running of the bank, they managed recruitment, staff welfare, internal communications, and compliance training. What they had also developed, over the 5 months since the flagship branch had opened, was a culture. It was the culture of a small fiefdom. Amina noticed it first in the way the HR team spoke in the staff common area, with a specific elevated confidence that came from them believing they occupied a privileged position relative to other departments. They spoke about the bank as if it were their own enterprise. They spoke about clients with the casual dismissal of people who did not understand that a client was the reason the building existed. She noticed it in the way they interacted with the junior staff, not the senior client-facing staff who had some protection by virtue of their seniority and visibility. The junior staff, the interns, the support analysts, the operations team. These people were spoken to with an authority that crossed from professional into personal. Comments about their presentation, their pace, their questions, not constructive, cutting. She watched a senior HR officer named Mr. Digi, Mr. Ekin's second-in-command, a 38-year-old man with the specific combination of a medium-level position and a maximum-level ego, speak to a first-week intern about a document the intern had asked for in a tone that would have been inappropriate in any professional environment. The intern was 22 years old. She had just started her first proper job. She looked at the floor and said, "Yes, sir," and walked away with a posture that had been slightly different before the conversation. Amina went back to her desk. She opened a document on her computer, ostensibly a portfolio analysis she was working on, and began typing observations. Not what she felt, what she had seen, heard, and when. She had been doing this for 3 days. By day 5, she had 14 documented incidents. She had also made friends. Not deliberately. She was not performing friendship any more than she was performing everything else. But the natural quality of her attention, the fact that she listened when people talked and remembered what they said and asked the right follow-up questions, meant that the people around her opened up in a way that people open up when they feel genuinely seen. Zainab had started sitting with her at lunch by day 3. By day 4, 2 others had joined, a man named Chukwudi from the technology team and a woman named Blessing from client relations. They ate together in the staff area, and the conversation moved between the work and the personal with the ease of people who had decided, quickly, that this specific combination of people was comfortable. Rashid, eating on the other side of the staff area with his operations team, caught her eye once across the room. He gave her a very small look that communicated, "You are doing it again." She looked away. She was not doing anything. She was simply being herself. But being herself had the effect of making people trust her quickly, which was useful. On day 6, Zainab said something during lunch that stopped Amina mid-bite. "They say the founder barely comes here," Zainab said. "Ekin tells the team that she is hands-off, that she trusts the management to run things." "Does she?" Chukwudi said. "I don't know," Zainab said. "But some of the things Ekin says in the all-staff meetings, he talks like this is his bank, like we work for him." Amina put down her fork. "What kind of things?" she said. Zainab looked at her for a moment. "Just patterns," she said. "The way he talks about my branch and my standards and what I expect. You will have heard it yourself." "I have," Amina said. She paused. "Does he behave the same way with clients?" Zainab's face did something. "There have been some situations," she said. "Tell me," Amina said. Zainab looked at her. Then she told her. 3 instances in the past month where clients, significant accounts, had encountered the HR team during branch visits, and the interactions had not gone the way Suleiman Private Bank's brand required. In one case, a client had raised a concern about their account statement and been redirected by Mr. Digi in a manner the client had described to their dedicated banker as dismissive and slightly hostile. The dedicated banker had logged it. Amina already knew about the log. She had checked every incident log before going undercover. She had cross-referenced what Zainab was describing against those logs and confirmed they matched. What the logs could not give her was the texture of the problem. The why, the culture that produced these incidents as its natural output. She had that now. Day 9. She was at her workstation when she heard the change in the lobby. Not loud, Suleiman Private Bank's lobby was never loud, but a change in register, a specific quality of attention shifting in the direction of the entrance. She looked up. A man had walked in. He was somewhere in his early 60s, well-built, in a suit that she recognized the cut of immediately, not because she was interested in fashion, but because she spent time with people who wore that specific level of tailoring. A single watch on his left wrist that she clocked in 1 second. He had the specific presence of a person whose net worth was not a rumor. Her mind went to the client list she had memorized. Chief Ademi Lawson, one of the 3 richest men in Nigeria, Suleiman Private Bank flagship client, managed assets north of $800 million. She recognized him. He had been to the Abuja branch once, briefly, 2 years ago. She was almost certain he would not recognize her in this context. Almost. She stayed at her workstation and watched. He was approaching the HR reception, the wrong desk to approach for his needs, but new clients and returning clients often defaulted to the first staffed point they encountered. Mr. Digi was at the HR reception counter. She watched Mr. Digi look at Chief Lawson with the assessment that she had seen him apply to everyone who came to his counter. The specific measuring look of someone whose response to you was determined by his read of your status, and whose read of status was often wrong. She could not hear the exact exchange from her position, but she could read it. Chief Lawson said something, presumably stating who he was and why he was there. Mr. Digi responded with something that made Chief Lawson's posture change. Not a physical step back. He was not a man who stepped back, but the specific stiffening of someone who has just been spoken to in a way that is below what they have experienced in any professional context in 20 years. Chief Lawson said something further. She could see it was direct. The name of the bank, possibly his own name. Mr. Digi said something. Chief Lawson said, clearly and calmly, with the specific volume of someone who intends to be heard. Do you know who I am? Do you understand what I can do to this bank's reputation with one phone call? Mr. Digi's voice went up. She heard it from across the floor. I don't care who you are, sir. This is a professional institution. If you cannot follow the process. The floor went completely quiet. Amina was already standing up. She was at the reception counter in 8 seconds. She looked at Mr. Digi. She looked at Chief Lawson. Chief Lawson looked at her. She said, Chief Lawson, I am so sorry. Could we move to a private meeting room? I will personally assist you with whatever you need today. Mr. Digi looked at her. Intern, this is not your. Thank you, Mr. Digi, she said. Her voice was completely level, completely calm. The voice of someone who has decided that this is the moment but is not going to use it yet. I will take it from here. Chief Lawson looked at her for a moment. Something crossed his face. She watched it and held very still. I know you, he said slowly. She met his eyes. She made a decision in approximately 1 second. Chief Lawson, she said, I would very much like to speak to you privately. Please follow me. He followed her. She took him to a private meeting room on the 2nd floor, a room she had memorized the location of on day 1 because she had chosen the layout of this building and knew every room in it. She closed the door. She sat across from him. He looked at her. Amina Suleiman, he said. Yes, she said. You are dressed like a junior employee. Yes, she said. He was quiet for a moment. You are here undercover, he said, not a question. Yes, she said. He sat back. Because of the management problem, he said. She looked at him. My friend told you, she said. He told me something was being investigated, he said. He did not tell me you were the investigator. He paused. I see your methodology now. Chief Lawson, she said. I apologize for what happened in the lobby today. That should not have happened, and it will not happen again. I need you to know that your account, and every account in this branch, is managed by people who know what they are doing. What you encountered today is a management culture problem that I am in the process of documenting and addressing." He looked at her. "How long?" he said. "I need 3 more days," she said. He nodded slowly. "I will come back," he said. "Not because of the lobby, because of you sitting here and telling me the truth instead of managing my experience." "Thank you," she said. "And sir, when you come back, the lobby will be different." He looked at her. "You said 3 days," he said. "3 days," she said. He stood. At the door, he turned back. "Your father was a good man," he said. "He was at First Continental for 20 years. I used to see him at banking association meetings. Honest man." She looked at him. "Yes," she said, "he is." He left. She sat in the meeting room for 2 minutes. Then she texted Rashid, "Tomorrow we move." He replied in 30 seconds, "I'm ready." Stay right here. This is the part of the story you have been building toward. Subscribe so you never miss one like this. The last day undercover was a Wednesday. She spent it finishing the documentation. Everything she had observed, dated and timed and described in the specific language that a legal case required. She had 14 pages of personal observation, 8 corroborating accounts from colleagues who had shared incidents with her without knowing who she was, and 3 separate instances of client-facing misconduct that were additionally documented in the branch's own incident log. She also had something else. She had been building over 11 days a specific understanding of every person in that building, not just the HR department. Everyone. She knew who was excellent and under-recognized. She knew who was competent and frustrated. She knew who was coasting. She knew who was confused and needed better management. She knew the whole organism of the place, its functioning parts and its dysfunctional ones. She sat at her workstation on that last Wednesday and looked at the floor around her. Zainab at her desk, processing a portfolio review with the focused, quiet competence Amina had been watching for 11 days. Chakwudi across the floor, working on a system integration that had been on the queue for 2 months without enough support from management. Blessing in client relations, on the phone with a client, speaking with the specific combination of warmth and professionalism that Amina had built the client experience model around. Rashid, visible through the glass of the operations area, reviewing documents with a junior analyst. She looked at all of them. She thought about what she was about to do. She had decided against a private conversation with Mr. Ekin and the HR team, something she had considered and rejected. A private conversation was what management did when they needed to avoid disruption. But the disruption in this building had been public for months. The corrections should be public too. Not theatrical, not cruel, but public. She called Ajora, her legal officer, at 7 in the morning. "Today," she said. "I am ready," Ajora said. "I have been ready for a week." "I need the HR documentation complete by 10 this morning," she said. "It will be complete by 9, Ajora said. She called her office. Her actual office, the CEO's office at the Abuja headquarters. Her assistant put together what she needed. The original employment contracts for every member of the HR department, the staff benefits documentation, the promotions structure, and a list she had prepared the night before. She had a driver bring a bag to the hotel. At 8:30, she changed. Not into the red suit of this story's telling, into herself, into the clothes of a CEO who has made a decision and is going to the office. She arrived at the branch at 9:15. She did not walk in through the lobby. She walked in through the main entrance, directly, at the pace of someone who knows exactly where they are going. The reception staff saw her. The senior receptionist recognized her in approximately 2 seconds and had the specific expression of someone whose understanding of the last 11 days has just completely reorganized. She did not stop at reception. She walked to the center of the floor. She looked at the whole space, the open plan operations area, The investment management pods, the client relations section, the meeting rooms along the glass wall. She said, in a clear voice that reached every corner of the floor, "Good morning. Could I have everyone's attention for 5 minutes, please?" The floor went quiet. Every head turned. Mr. Ekin, who had been walking from his office to the common area with a coffee, stopped. He looked at her. She could see the sequence of recognitions happening in his face. The face, the name, the position, what it meant. She gave him time to finish the sequence. Then she said, "My name is Amina Suleiman. I am the founder and CEO of Suleiman Private Bank. I have been working in this branch as an intern for the past 11 days. The silence was total. She looked at the floor. "I want to say something to most of you first," she said. "Most of the people in this branch are doing exceptional work. I have watched you. I have worked beside some of you. The investment management team, client relations, technology, operations, security. What you do here every day is exactly what I built this bank to do. The clients you manage are significant and complex, and you treat them with the intelligence and respect they deserve. I am proud of what you have built here." She paused. "But something is wrong in this branch," she said, "and I want to address it directly." She turned to look at the HR section. Mr. Ekin was still holding his coffee. "Mr. Ekin," she said, "Mr. Digi, and the members of your team." She named them each, all 8 of them, by name, looking at each one as she said it. "I have been watching for 11 days, she said. "I have documentation that I am not going to recite in detail right now because this is a professional environment and these matters will be handled through the proper process. But I am going to say this clearly. The way you have spoken to the staff of this bank, the way you have spoken to clients of this bank, and the way you have represented this institution is not acceptable. It has never been acceptable, and it ends today." Mr. Ekin said, "This is." "I have not finished," Amina said. She said it without raising her voice. He stopped. She looked at the whole room. "This bank was built for one purpose," she said. "To give the most serious financial minds in this country access to the best private banking system that exists. Every client who walks through that door is trusting us with something significant. When we treat them badly, we are not just being rude. We are failing the entire reason this place exists." She reached into the folder her assistant had prepared. She placed 8 employment termination letters on the HR department section counter. "These documents are formal notice of employment termination for each member of the HR management team," she said. "Your legal and HR rights under your contracts will be fully honored. The documentation supporting these terminations will be provided to each of you individually. If there are questions about the legal process, my legal office will be available." She paused. "I am also instructing that each member of the HR team be reported to the financial sector regulatory body with a record of the documented conduct. I will do everything in my power to ensure the professional record reflects what happened here." The 8 members of the HR department looked at the letters. Mr. Ekin looked at her. "You cannot," he started. "I can," she said. "I built this bank." He was quiet. She turned back to the floor. "Now," she said, "the other thing." She opened the second folder. "Zainab Musa, Investment Management." She looked at Zainab. "You are being promoted to Head of Investment Management. Flagship branch, effective immediately. Your salary will reflect this. You will also receive a company car and an equity share in the branch's performance." Zainab did not move for a moment. Then she said very quietly, "Me." "Yes," Amina said, "you." "Chakwudi Ez, Technology Integration." She looked at Chakwudi. "Head of Technology, Flagship Branch, same terms." "Blessing Akaffer, Client Relations." She looked at Blessing. "Head of Client Relations, same terms." She went through the list. Every name she called was someone she had watched for 11 days and had known, from the first day, in most cases, was doing something worth recognizing. The people who had eaten lunch with her. The people who had answered her questions about the bank without knowing she already knew the answers. The people who had been doing their jobs excellently under a management culture that did not see them. She saw them. When she was finished, she looked at the room. "I am also," she said, "scheduling individual meetings with every person in this branch over the next 2 weeks, not to assess you, to understand what you need to do your jobs better, because the best investment this bank can make is in the people inside it." She looked at the room one final time. "Thank you," she said. "That is all for this morning. If anyone has questions, I will be here for the rest of today. My assistant has my schedule and you are all welcome to request time." She walked to the office that had been set aside for the founder's visits, the one she had designed but never used, and she sat down at the desk. Rashid appeared in the doorway 30 seconds later. He was still in his operations support clothes. He looked at her. "That," he said, "was the most composed thing I have ever seen anyone do." "I wrote it," she said, 3 times last night." "You wrote it 3 times, he said. "The first 2 were too angry," she said. He came in and sat across from her. "How do you feel?" he said. She sat with the question. "Like I needed to do that," she said. "Not just for the clients, for Zainab and Chukwudi and Blessing and all of them. They were building something good in a building that someone else was claiming. That was wrong." He looked at her. "You know Zainab is going to cry when she processes what just happened," he said. "I know," she said. "I have tissues in the top drawer." He laughed. She almost smiled. Chief Lawson came back on Friday. He walked in through the lobby and was received with the specific calm professionalism that should have been there from day one. The reception staff greeted him by name. They had been briefed that he was expected. He was shown directly to the private meeting room on the 2nd floor. Amina was there waiting. She stood when he came in. He looked at her, the CEO now, not the intern. "Different clothes," he said. "Yes," she said. They sat. "Tell me what happened," he said. "Not the summary, the story." She told him. He listened with the complete attention that significant people have when they decide something is worth their time. When she finished, he was quiet for a moment. "You spent 11 days on the floor," he said, "as an intern, to document a management problem." "Yes," she said. "You did this on your honeymoon," he said. "The first part was honeymoon," she said. "The second part was work." He looked at her for a long time. Then he said, "The reason I trust this bank is sitting across from me right now." She said nothing. "You could have sent an investigator," he said. "You could have sent a management consultant. You could have reviewed the reports and made decisions from your office. You did not. You went inside it yourself because you needed to see it directly." He paused. "That is why $800 million is safer here than anywhere else." She looked at him. "I also wanted to meet your staff," she said. "Zainab is going to be one of the best bankers in this country in 5 years. I needed to find her." He nodded. "That is also the right reason," he said. He stayed for 2 hours. They reviewed his portfolio, discussed the next quarter's strategy, covered 3 new investment options that her team had been developing. When he left, he shook her hand at the door. "I will see you at the next Banking Association gala," he said. "I will be there," she said. "Wearing something other than intern clothes, I hope," he said. "Yes," she said. He walked out. She stood in the doorway of the meeting room and watched him go. In the months that followed, the flagship branch became what it had always been capable of becoming. Zainab grew into the head of investment management position the way Amina had known she would, not gradually, but immediately, like a plant given the right amount of light. She hired 2 people she trusted, restructured the portfolio review process, and within 3 months had increased the average return on managed accounts by 12%. Chukwudi's technology team built an internal reporting system that had been on the wish list since the branch opened, but had never been prioritized. It took him 6 weeks. The client-facing version of the system gave account holders real-time visibility into their portfolio performance in a way that no competitor offered. Blessing built a client relations program from the ground up. monthly touchpoints for every account above 200 million, quarterly strategy reviews for accounts above 500 million, a dedicated concierge for events and personal service needs that went beyond banking. Within 6 months, the flagship branch had the highest client satisfaction scores of any branch in the Suleiman network. Within a year, the waiting list for new accounts had 37 names on it. Amina visited the branch every 2 weeks. Not for inspections, she had the data and the reports and the team to tell her what she needed to know operationally. She visited because she had told the staff she would, because the promise of direct access to the founder was a different thing from a monthly email from the CEO. She had lunch with Zainab and Chakwudi and Blessing when she visited. Not in the staff area, in the good restaurant 3 blocks from the branch, the one she had started booking after the second visit when she realized the conversations were important enough to give them the right environment. She also bought a house. Not their regular home, a dedicated entertainment property in the same city as the flagship branch. It had a proper dining room that could seat 20, a kitchen big enough for serious hosting, and a garden with outdoor seating for warm evenings. She hosted the flagship branch staff there once a month. Not all 60 of them, rotating groups of 10 to 15. Dinner, good wine, real conversation. No agenda, no presentations. She cooked sometimes when she had the time and the inclination. Rashid was always there. He had discovered in himself over the course of the year that the specific pleasure of a room full of people doing good work and knowing it was one of his favorite things. He told her this one evening when the last guests had left and they were clearing the table together. "What?" she said. "This," he said. "This is what I was missing. When I told you I was slightly lost, this is what I did not know I was looking for." She looked at him. "A dinner party," she said. "A room full of people who built something," he said, "and the ability to host them." She thought about this. "You should come to the office more," she said. "The actual office, not as an intern." He looked at her. "And do what?" he said. "Whatever you want," she said. "You have opinions about property and people and how organizations work. Those opinions are useful." He was quiet. "Are you offering me a job?" he said. "I am offering you a reason," she said. He looked at her for a long time. "Okay," he said. He joined the bank in a strategic advisory role 3 months later. He was good at it, not in the way she was good at banking, but in the complementary way she had always known they worked. She built the systems, he understood the human beings who inhabited them. Her father came to the flagship branch for the first time a year after its opening. He had been to the Abuja branch many times. She had invited him for every significant milestone. But this branch, the crown jewel, he had not seen in operation. She gave him a tour herself, not the client tour, the full tour, the investment floor, the technology room, the private client suites. The boardroom she had specified should have natural light from 2 directions. The staff area that had a proper kitchen because she believed the people who managed billions of dollars deserved a good lunch. He walked through it slowly. He did not say much. At the end, standing in the lobby looking at the space, he put his hand on her shoulder. "You said it was not big enough," he said. She looked at him. "You said that in my office," he said. "You were 11 years old. You sat in my chair and you looked at everything and you said it is not big enough." She remembered. "I did," she said. He looked around the lobby, the materials, the light, the quiet confidence of the space. "It is big enough now," he said. She looked at her father, the man who had answered every question, who had taken her to the bank on a Saturday and let her sit in his chair, who had given her a book and then listened to the 11 questions she brought back. She had built this for the clients. She had built it for the vision. She had built it for herself. But somewhere underneath all of that, she had also built it for a bank manager in Garki who had told a curious 11-year-old girl that her ideas were worth taking seriously. She put her hand on his arm. "Thank you, Papa," she said. He looked at her. "For what?" he said. "For answering every question," she said. He made a sound that was not quite a word. They stood in the lobby of the most exclusive private banking branch in the country. Father and daughter. A bank manager and what he had made possible. So, that is Amina. That is what it looks like to build something from a question asked at age 11, and a conversation at a kitchen table, and a notebook full of ideas that nobody asked you to keep. But I want to stay with you for one moment before we end. Because this story is not about building a bank. This story is about what a builder does when something is wrong in what she built. Most people who have built something significant, a company, a team, a department, anything, arrive at a point where something is not working inside it. And the temptation is to address it from above, from the distance of leadership, to send reports, to have meetings, to make decisions based on information that has been filtered through the people who have an interest in presenting it a certain way. Amina did not do that. She went inside. Not because she doubted her team, she trusted her team, but because she understood something that a lot of leaders take years to understand, and some never understand at all. You cannot fully know what is happening in a place if you have never experienced it from the lowest position inside it. The interns, the junior analysts, the support staff, these people know the culture of an organization better than anyone. They are inside it without the protection of seniority, without the filter of management hierarchy, without the option of choosing not to be in the room when something uncomfortable happens. They know. Amina went in as one of them, and in 11 days, she learned what they already knew. That is not just good management. That is respect. Respect for the people who build what you built at every level. There is also something in this story about the HR department, about Mr. Ekin and Mr. Digi and their team. They were not evil people. They were not criminals. They were people who had been placed in a position of relative power without the character that power requires, who had mistaken their position for their identity, who had begun to speak about the institution as if it belonged to them because no one had corrected them early enough. This happens. It happens in companies and banks and offices and families and anywhere that systems exist and people are trusted to run them. Some people, when given authority, use it to build the people below them. And some people, when given authority, use it to mark territory. The second kind of person does damage that goes far beyond the obvious incidents. They create a culture. They teach the people around them, especially the junior people, the ones who are still forming their professional selves, that this is what authority looks like, that this is how you use a position. Amina's most important act on that Wednesday morning was not firing 8 people. It was calling Zainab's name. It was saying, "I see you. I have been watching. What you have been building in this branch, that is what this bank is, not the people who were claiming it. You. That is what stayed. Not the justice, the recognition. One more thing. Her father. He answered every question. This seems like a small thing. It is not a small thing. When a curious child asks questions about a world that most adults think is too complex or too serious or too early for a child to understand, the adult has a choice. Dismiss the question. Simplify it until it means nothing. Change the subject. Tell the child they will understand when they are older. Or answer it. Mr. Bello Suleiman answered it. Every time, with respect, with full information, with the addition of his own thinking and the acknowledgement when something was more complicated than the question assumed. That is what the lobby of the flagship branch is. It is a question answered, 40 years later. It is a little girl in a bank manager's chair, saying this is not big enough. And a father who listened. If this story stayed with you, hit the like button. Now, 1 second. Subscribe to Fair Folktales. Ring the notification bell. We are here every single week with a story like this one. A story about someone who was told the world was for other people and decided it was not. Share this video with someone who is building something right now. Someone who is working hard in a place that does not fully see them. Someone who has been in the junior chair and knows more than anyone above them realizes. Comment below and tell us. If you found out your company's owner had been working beside you undercover, what would be the first thing you would say? We read every comment. This is Fair Folktales. The greedy always fall. The overlooked always rise. And the ones who build brick by brick and go back inside to make sure every brick is right. They build something that lasts. We will see you in the next story.